Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about some snowfall that's going to be going on for the Mid-Atlantic states and even the Northeast and New England states. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social medias. Today's comment of the day is going to be, which damaging tornado was the most memorable in your opinion? Mine has to be El Reno, just an absolute monster of a tornado, but I'm curious to see what most of you would say as far as the most memorable tornado in recent memory. Let's get right into things. So, we're going to be looking at our NAM 12KM model here on our simulated radar. And this is going to be associated with our severe weather that's happening this week, actually, that low pressure system down there for Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. And this frame was going to be by about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is going to be Thursday, March 5th. Let's go ahead and move on, though, towards that afternoon, about 2 p.m., and we can see some blue showing up for the Smoky Mountains there in North Carolina and Tennessee, and that's the only reason we're viewing the southeast here is because some of those mountainous regions could be experiencing some snowfall with this, actually. Now, let's move on once again. This is going to be by 8 p.m., and what's interesting is the NAM model, which overdoes stuff sometimes, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, does want to show some blue there on the Virginia and North Carolina border, and also the mountains of Virginia and North Carolina there becoming a more expanded region of blue, just because obviously as nightfall approaches, we're going to get colder temperatures, which is going to lead to more areas switching over to snow. I don't know how much I buy that more coastal or closer to the coast and less mountainous regions getting snowfall there. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. We're about to move on and take a look at the rest of this southeast view, and then we're going to take a look up north and see what the main snow system is going to do up there. Alright, so this is going to be by, I would say, this is going to be approximately maybe 11 p.m. on Thursday, March 5th, and we can see some blues up there for northern, or I would say central Virginia, and then up on the eastern shore. Again, not sure how accurate that is, but it is indicating that there is a chance for at least mixing going on the very, very northern end of the precipitation. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that, obviously, and then pretty much by time we reach I would say this is about 5 a.m. on Friday, March 6th. It's pretty much all said and done for the southeast. We do have some snow showers maybe for the Smoky Mountains, but outside of that, it's done for the southeast there. Now we're going to take our view up to the north, and we're looking at the northeast, and we can see some snow up there for Canada and even Michigan, and that's going to make its way eastward into New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, in all of the New England states as well. So we're going to start to see a lot of blue up here in the northern United States. And this is still Friday, 5 a.m. approximately. Now we're about to move on where we're going to see that blue move into the United States, the eastern United States, and we're going to see how much of that snow could accumulate here for the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic states. Now we can see the blues have entered the northeastern United States, especially Pennsylvania and New York there, but even Ohio, West Virginia, bits of Virginia and North Carolina that saw snow the day before. Basically in the form of kind of like scattered snowfall, I would say, scattered snow showers here. That's the best way I could put it. But we do have that low pressure system offshore, which is going to be a nor'easter. And the interesting thing here is that obviously if this low pressure system was closer to the coast, we would be dealing with a major snowstorm, but that's just not the case here. This winter has had a lot of cases like that where there's very high potential, but very low odds. And sure enough, this was another very big potential snowstorm that just completely fizzled out and is non-existent by this point. This is going to be by about 11 a.m. on Friday, March 6th. Let's go ahead and move on towards about 2 p.m. on Friday, March 6th, and we can see that this low pressure system does possibly bring some snowfall up into New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and even New Hampshire and Maine, but really it's going to be in the form of some lighter to moderate snow showers, and it's so far offshore we're not going to get the brunt of that precipitation. Upstate New York may be getting the heaviest snowfall here, and then we see areas in Pennsylvania, West Virginia getting some snowfall here. And this is the areas where I expect the potential for upwards of 3 to 6 inches of snow, but really there's not much potential outside of that. I think the mountains of West Virginia could exceed 6 inches of snow just because they're going to have some with the earlier amounts of snow and then also in the later portion here, but not a lot of potential for high amounts of accumulating snowfall here, I wouldn't say. Let's move on towards a little bit later, maybe 5 p.m. here. And we can see snowfall for New York still, Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey. We also see Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and a little bit of Maine as well, getting that snowfall. And again, West Virginia through southwestern Pennsylvania, getting snowfall still at this point, and that's where I expect the most accumulations, like I said before. Now we're about to move on towards nighttime, where we're going to see things start to really cool down, and that rain-snow line is going to obviously very drastically shift south, and we're going to see more areas, see more snowfall here in a second. And this is by about 8 p.m. on Friday, March 6th. And again, we still see West Virginia, even down through Virginia, North Carolina, seeing that snowfall in the very mountainous regions. This is an area that always gets the snowfall in these types of situations. We see northern and eastern Pennsylvania getting some snowfall. We also see southern New York, and then New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and even Rhode Island by this point. And that rain-snow line is moving further and further south. We see more areas in New Jersey, more areas in eastern Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, I've heard a lot of people from Philadelphia complaining about no snowfall. This might just be the chance. We're only 66 hours out, which is not considered medium range even, or long range. This is short range. So still, considering how this winter has been, a lot can change. But I am here to tell you that there is a chance that you will see some snowfall during this event. Let's take a look as we head towards about 11 p.m. on Friday, March 6th, and we see that southeastern Pennsylvania area still has snowfall in the area, but it's kind of fizzling out by this point, so it's a very short time slot of the potential for snowfall, but it is a potential nevertheless. We still see areas in New York, Pennsylvania, even New York City may be switching over to snowfall by this point, so in through Friday into Saturday. We see that Vermont and New Hampshire, it's kind of moving further south with the snowfall. So we're kind of seeing this come to an end. Same story in Massachusetts, but Connecticut and Rhode Island still getting snowfall. And then obviously West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania still getting that moderate snowfall. So still snowing quite steadily there. And as we head towards about 2 a.m. on Saturday, March 7th, you can see pretty much we just have snow showers left over, and then by the time we reach about 8 a.m., it's all said and done, with the exception of maybe some snow showers there for West Virginia still. So they're the last. They finally see that snowfall come to an end, and they're the last ones seeing snowflakes by the end of this thing. All right, now we're about to take a look at what the models think the total snowfall is going to be for the eastern United States here after all this snowfall is said and done. So we're going to look at multiple models here in a second to give you guys an idea of how many inches of snow you could expect where you live. All right, so first things first, we're looking at our NAM 12KM model here, and we can see that there is plenty of blues and even very, very light blues, almost white colored shades there. That's where we're at. Anything from a dusting to 3 inches of snow. It's as we get into those purple shades, that's where we're looking at 3 to 6 inches of snow, so we can see a little bit of that for Pennsylvania and New York there. But really outside of that, it's very scarce. We do see some for that area in West Virginia, and then also the Smoky Mountains. So these areas are the ones that are going to see the most snowfall, the Smoky Mountains and then up through West Virginia. Let's take a look at the Canadian model, and we can see here that it has a lot more of the 3 to 6 inch amounts there for New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even very far northern Maine as well. And it does think that the Smoky Mountains and West Virginia will get a pretty good amount of snow, even 6 inches plus there in West Virginia. And now for our GFS model, the interesting thing here is that it has a lot less snowfall for the coastal regions of New England even. So it's definitely thinking warmer temperatures are going to prevail there near the coast. And also for upstate New York, it has the most snowfall, pretty consistent 2 to 3 inches of snow in those whiter shades. And then also for the purplish regions, obviously that's where we're at 3 to 6 inches of snow. So we could see that down there for the Catskills and also up for the Adirondacks as well. And then in those pinkish shades for the very high elevation areas, I think it's pinpointing the very, very high elevation areas there in New York. And that's where it's saying 6 to 12 inches of snow. And we also see the same story for West Virginia. That's where the models are the most consistent. So they are pretty confident that we're going to be looking at 6 to 10 inches of snow there for the mountains of West Virginia. Now, for your comment of the day in yesterday's video, I asked, what is your favorite movie? And Edward Godfrey said Shawshank Redemption. I absolutely love that film. I think it's one of the best movies of all time, if not possibly the best movie of all time. Obviously, I told you guys that my favorite movie is The Mission, but that doesn't mean that I think it's the best of all time. I think The Shawshank Redemption might actually be the best movie ever. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social medias, and I will see you guys in the next video.